Okay, for those who are wondering, I'm just optimizing the audios. Not so much the lighting, because the lighting, there's no real limit. Well, there is, but you know, like, I'm yet to hit it. But I showed a thing yesterday, was trying to add extra sound effects, and they weren't triggering because the amount of sound effects that are already active were too high. So what I've done is added these chips here, which if you, let me just zoom out, so you can see that green box. Whenever the character is within that green box, it's going to power it up. And I'm just turning off all the lights that are within that area, so they don't make any sound, but they also don't let off any light. But then when you enter the zone, we can then come in here and go, okay, you can now turn these back on again. So it's only going to make sound for the lights that is in the area you're in. So that should reduce the amount of sounds that are getting played. The main section in the middle, I'm going to leave on permanently anyway because there's not that many there. There's what, 2 per floor or something? This isn't going to... I'm not optimizing the models or anything like that at the moment. That is going to come, but at the moment it's not needed because everything's using the same model. It's not increasing its thermal. So, like as you can see here, the actual graphics is nice and low, so I'm not going to worry about that. It says here, audio is fine. I don't think it's the type of audio is the problem, it's the amount of audios. Of course, it has, I don't know if it's a PlayStation thing, or whether it's a Dreams thing, but there's only a certain number of audios it can play at a time. I think it's like 8 or 16 or something like that. Okay, is that all of them? Nope, missed one there. Quick look around. What about you? Missed one there. Okay, they all look done now, right? Yes. Can't see that they're out. No, that all looks good. Yep, and yep, okay. So I can now save that. And I can just run that today. So if you wonder what this chip is, all it is, whenever the puppet is within that zone, which is the green box, it puts out a signal. That is purely for wiring purposes, and that will turn on all those lights. So when you close it, it's got the little knob on the side there. So if I want to add anything else to this thing, so when you're in that zone, it does something, I can just grab that and run a wire from there. That's the only reason. Okay, why can't I open it? Okay, why can't that's the only reason I've added that there, is so that it's got one. So if you change that icon, for example, if you go power, when it's closed now, you'll see it has a little power icon. That's the purely the only reason that is there. It will slightly raise that ever so slightly, but because all these zones are the same, it shouldn't do it enough to to counteract anything. So fingers crossed it works fine. And I'm also, every time I do one, I'm coming into here, grabbing the puppet. So I'm on floor 2, I'm on the floor below. So right now, if I come out to the foyer, like this, and look up, oh, you can't quite see. You can't quite tell, but the top floor looks a little darker than the second floor because the top floor shouldn't have any lights on. Now, the end of the zone is around about here somewhere. I haven't gone for any wider because I don't think it needs it. If I come up, come to here, they're on. Why are they on? Come all over here. They're still on. Why? No, they're not. I bet you they're not. Of course, I've done that. Yeah, no, they're not on. Okay. They look like they were on because of the sun and everything being out. So they're not on. As I walk up to it, they come on. So a lot of you see a lot of actual games that do that. Saints Row's doing it. All the games that's supposed to be doing it are doing it, except for Cyberpunk. But that just lags the lights. So yeah, so I've got this section to do. So right now, the humming and the crackling is only coming from this floor and the floor below at the moment, and the main area, which is, was it 2 per floor? Yeah. This light and this light, floor above and the floor below. I haven't got any lights in here yet. And if I come down to here, as you can see, that hallway up the top there is dark. And I've already done, oh well, this unlucky bottom floor, isn't it? All the doors on the other, all the lights on the other side of this, as you can see if I stick my camera through it, are all out. Actually, no, that one should be on because I'm in that area. But that's all I'm doing, so I didn't think I needed to speak to it. I'm going to add more of those little bots, these things. I've got to try and add a way to heal. So all these rooms in here, they are all running off the same one. So this floor will only be lit when I'm in the area. And that's all I'm wiring up today. So as you can see, they're all open. So that's all done now. So I can close all these. I'll just close all them. I've got the X-rays on, so I can see all the chips. So anything that's got a function or an alignment or anything like that, you'll see like that one there's the robot. All these little squares there, they're doors or lights. And if it's got, for example, like the green and the red, that's a media molecule creation. This one here hasn't got the green, but that one does, because that's the exit, and that's the thing. And if you look down, you should see another one just there. That's the other robot, and the dotted line you see when I hover over it, that's the path that the in brackets NPC takes. Again, I'm still not sure whether the NPCs are going to be a thing or not. I could make it so that that NPC walks around healing. So, for example, I'm low on health, so I could go to that NPC, and so long as I hang around near it, I'll slow to heal. That could be a thing. So this zone is done. I can come down to the next floor. There's this zone, which is, if I bring up that, you'll see it's detecting this floor. Then you're just going to come in here, and this is the reason why I've put that power switch there, so I can turn off the thing, so I can actually see. That's the only reason that's there now. These two lights here, in fact, yeah, I'll leave them both there because that will add. If you're on the bottom floor looking up, the fact that the top floor is dark isn't it as noticeable as if the second floor was dark. So I'm going to leave this to here so it gives the illusion of these lights being on all the time, even though they won't be, because these two will be on. So I'm just going through. X-ray mode is on so I can see the chips through the objects. Oops. Turn it off, so that's its default state. It's a monotonous, boring thing, but if the fact the sound effect I want to play won't play because there's already too many sounds playing at once. Because you look at it, every single one of those yellow dots can or is making a noise. So, and if it can only play, we'll say 8 different noises at once, and like these doors make 2 different noises. The lights make 2 different noises. It can make the humming or it can make the sparks. When it's making the sparks, that's when it's a broken light. When it's making the humming, it's a good light. The doors, if I come to the doors and the windows, let's choose the door just so you can see it. 3 noises. It possibly can make 3 different noises. It's got the beep and those 2 noises are the same noise, just that it's for different states. One's for when it opens, one's for when it closes. So the door can technically make 2 noises, the lights can technically make 2 noises, and for example, if all these are playing at once, even if it's not playing individual noises from each one, but just in general, there's 2 noises there for the lights, 2 noises for the door, that's 4, and if it's an 8, that's half its noise already made. Then you've got to take into account that the puppet, when it takes a step, that makes a noise. That enemy that's on the top floor, that makes noises. So all those add up, and it's probably maxed out at 8 or 16, whatever noises it is. So if I come through here, turn all these off, then the chance of these making the noise is 0, because I'm not in the area. So therefore it should reduce the chance of the max noise being made. I should ideally turn the enemy off as well, but I don't think I'm going to worry too much about it. I'll do this, then I'm going to add the sound effect I tried to add yesterday, just for testing purposes, to see if it actually does now let me do it. It could be the fact too I've hit the limit of different chips too. That could be a thing, because I've never tested the I've tested for building pieces in the early day. I tested how many clones can be placed before the game's like, no, I can't deal with this. And then I took a couple out, and the game's going, okay, now I'm cool, and I took enough out so that if you've made yourself a character or a puppet, you can place that puppet into the world. It's pretty much just duplicate houses. So you can just, oh, I don't want to say a city, but you know. Okay, so that's the lift. Yeah, that's all good. That's all good. Okay, so 4 in that one. No, I'm missing one. No, oh no, I got it. It says 4 in each, so I can take a quick look. That looks like I'm missing one. No, that's the door. Okay. No, I think that's all of them. So if I go into here, add the keyframe. So when your puppet's there, whatever I click now will activate. So let's come up to here, turn that. I did miss a light up here, didn't I? Oh no, that's right. It's all good. I do wish I could flick the switch from the back, but you can't. You can't even see it from the back. See how back it looks lit? See how it looks like it's lit? That's on. If I swing around, you can see it's not. If Medium Molecule happen to watch this at any point, I doubt they will. And these big game companies don't care about small YouTubers. A light sensor. So I could put a chip inside my puppet and have it detect the amount of light that's hitting the puppet, or hitting the sensor, I should say. Not necessarily the puppet, but hitting the sensor would be awesome. So that you could say, for example, tell the chip that if the light is above max light, then do this. Or if it's below max light or below 50% light or whatever, to do something else, that'd be cool. Then you could add things like light sensors and stuff like that. Okay, I think I've got them all. Quick look around. Oop, no, missed one there. See, this is the reason why, again, to bag on CDPR, this is the reason why Cyberpunk is such a shit show. It's because they didn't do this. Walk around saying, or not so much this, because let's face it, Unreal Engine, that sort of stuff, they don't have the same issues that this has. It's more of a, there's a different version of the same issue. So they won't necessarily have the problem of, you've hit the maximum number of noises playing at once or something like that. Theirs will be more along the lines of, there's too many polygons, or there's too many collisions, physics and stuff like that. Whereas this one here, the polygons isn't a thing because it doesn't use polygons. I think I've explained it before. This uses a thing called a FLEC system, or that's what they call it anyway. It's kind of think like sand. It's each part of each grain of the sand is a FLEC, and when you sculpt it like you do a sandcastle, it uses a certain number of FLECs. Let me back out so you can see if I zoom in. Then everything can see it. These squares, they're FLECs. So if I go into that mode, the red of the item, so see how the door looks redder? That looks more like a pinky purple, and that's excuse me, that's more of like a in between, and that's like pale blue. That's pale blue. That's the density of the FLECs. Now you're only allowed a certain amount of FLECs per scene. That's why if you look at the thing, all these beams here are turned down. The walls are up slightly higher, and then the ones that are less are down a bit. But if I alter, just say this one, because everyone is a clone, I can alter all of them. Same with the door frames. So as you can see the white outline, so I can then alter all those and just turn the density down. If that one gets too high, I can just adjust all these down, make them less dense. Now the reason that and those are different is because the paint. If you paint or alter it in any way, it no longer becomes a clone. That raises that because it changes the amount of FLECs that are getting used. In a way, it's better than like polygons because yeah, you can't make as big as scenes, but you can make it where there's literally next to no, you don't get any sharp edges. It's super smooth, so it's cool in that aspect. But hit in a situation like I've hit, where you've hit the maximum number of noises, or where you've hit the maximum flex or whatever, yeah, that's when you start noticing it. It doesn't do physics very well, hence the reason why I've been trying to get my cloth draping thing going, but at the moment I'm at a point where I can get a single character with a decent, when I say decent, I mean like a full skirt, just say, short skirt. I can get that to run relatively okay. But if I add two characters with the same skirt, the game's like, no, I don't like that. Of course, it does not deal with collisions very well. Mainly, I think it's mainly because of the flex system. Because there's so many little flex it's got to calculate for, that it struggles. And it also doesn't like the connectors. So that's why I'll try and make stuff that doesn't use connectors. Like if you look at the doors, there's no connectors. If I turn the view on and view connectors, so right now, think of connectors as bones from like Unreal or whatever. As you can see, the puppet has all these joins, and they've got the connectors. Each one of them adds to the gameplay. Hence the reason why none of these doors have connectors. Ideally, I would have put a slider on the doors, a connector of a slider, and then I could have used the power to open and close it. But as it is now, I'm just using a keyframe. So if I come to the door, for example, and grab, like if I click on that, you'll see the door is open. All it's done is that open keyframe, come in a bit, the open keyframe has a 6-second smoothing in and smoothing out setting. So it takes around about, 0.6 of a second. So a little over half a second to open, and then a little over half a second to close. You can change all that. You can make it 1 second. You can make it 10 seconds. So it'll move super slow, going from one keyframe to the next. And I use that more than I will a connector, because the keyframe I find is less straining on the gameplay than a connector is. See, so there's the other puppet. It's got all those connectors as well. Now, obviously, I'm not gonna add too many characters, as that will increase that. But that NPC there seems to add enough life into it that I think I only need like 1 or 2. I'm thinking I'm adding one at the door too, the front door, and just make it like one that you walk up to and you can click a button to get the discovery done, the hip discovery. Okay, can GTA people please, like, Okay, those notifications is popping up is somebody's on GTA, like, and I'm not exactly a big GTA fan, but you know, some people, it's their life. I'm more of a creative person, and that's why this game suits me. Yeah, there. Okay, I'm gonna see them close. And there should be these 2 lights in the middle here, and that should be it. Okay, he's adding me to groups. I'm gonna have to leave those groups. Okay, I think that's all the lights down here. That's enough. Okay, so we can then find the main chip, which should be just here. Add the keyframe. And I think this is the last one, isn't it? This is the bottom floor. So if I do that, now can I go around, turn all these lights on. Again, if you're doing this in your own, and just say, for example, something's in the wrong spot or anything like that, because I'm using a keyframe which is turning all these on, I can move these lights around. They will still turn on and off because I'm not changing. I'm not adding a keyframe of an animation. It's a keyframe of a functionality on or off. With the keyframes, just a quick little helpful tip: the keyframes don't actually. A keyframe isn't like when you're an animator. A keyframe isn't necessarily an animated frame. It is in the aspect of it's recording what you're doing, but you don't have to use it just to make an animation. You can use the keyframe like what I'm doing right now to tell the program to turn off something or to turn on something. Am I missing a light here? Oh no, there it is there, okay. So if you want to, for example, have it to make it so your character blinks, that's an animated keyframe. So it's actually changing the animation. But if you want it to be like turn a light on, like I'm doing here, it still does the same thing. So when you hit the... is that all? Oh no. So when you hit the keyframe record button, you'll get the little record option down the bottom here to let you know that it's recording. So everything I change now is not everything I move, it's everything I change. So if I, like, that there is changed, it's got the little dotted lines through it. Anytime that keyframe is activated, whatever changed between when I first started recording to when I stopped recording, that's what changes during that keyframe. So it can be anything from moving something to turning something on and off to making something invisible to playing a sound effect or something like that. It could be any of those. Okay, so we'll do that to there. So now whenever it enters there, it will activate this, and activating that, actually I'll get it to a spot where you can see it. If you look at that switch there, on all of them that you can see, when I hit the keyframe thingy, they all turn on, because that's what the keyframe's told to do. So anytime my puppet enters the zone, it'll activate the lights. That's what I'm doing with it. That's how I'm optimizing, hopefully, the sounds. So with a bit of luck, fingers crossed, I can add some extra little sound effects. I want to add a weather sound effect when you get into the front door. And I also want to add a ambience sound effect that'll play all the time. So like an interior background noise or something like that. The ambient one is just going to be place a chip down, place a noise down, and it's going to play continuously. So that's not a big issue. But the sound effect of the rain or fire or whatever at the front door, it's only going to play when you're near it. So that's going to require a little bit of place a chip and stuff like that. When I tried to do that the other day, that's when I discovered the issue of it's not playing it because there's too many sound effects playing already. I'm assuming that's what the issue is. To assume, make us an ass out of you and me. And the old people understand that one. So I'm hoping that this little bit of optimization I've just done will hopefully free up some, in brackets, memory to allow me to add a sound effect of rain, whatever, at the front door. So if I grab the front door here, now this one here doesn't activate because if I come around the other side, it's just a solid wall. Because there's breaking the third wall here, or fourth wall. There's nothing out here. But when you're playing, you want the illusion of there could be a whole city out there, and the whole city's in turmoil or something like that. So if we come into here, grab this, and anything that's got that logo, the MM logo, you can use, and it doesn't say that you're using it. It doesn't give extra credits because it's media molecule stuff. So we want sound effects, and just say ambience. We've got where is it? Interiors. So we can go. We'll go that one. Place that there, and we're going to turn it down to about 60. Okay, that should be on loop, and we're also going to go. Actually, you know what? No, that is going to go onto the just there. I'm not going to put it in the door. And then we grab one of weather. So we've got ambient spots. And these are all water loops. Let's choose a fire one. That one. Now if I get this to roughly at the door. Say about there somewhere. Let's make it bigger. Okay, so if I now so I can hear the fire from where I am because it's not that far from it, so it's probably a little too big. But at least now it's actually making the noise. So let's open this up and go down there. So you can hear the fire noise. Now the interior noise, that one there. Oops. No. Keep hitting the wrong. They seem to be backwards. Okay, let's max it out. So you can hear it. So just that, me optimizing the lighting. So if I stand up here, oh yeah, I've got to turn that off because it's got that. Yeah. You'll see down the hall it's darker because the lights aren't on. And as I walk up, you'll see the point back here where they turn on. And then when I'm out here, if you look up, those two lights I've left there, I should move them down the bottom just to give the illusion. Actually, I only need the first one because you're not going to see it far enough up, are you? Yeah, I'm going to do that. I'm going to just copy the light, the first one, just to give that illusion of the lights are actually on. Okay. So if we come here and grab that light there, copy it, move it down. Let's try it from here. About there somewhere. And I'm going to do the same with the top. It doesn't need it because you can't really see that far up. But let's go up. See there somewhere. So the area's lights aren't going to be on. But if you look up from the foyer. Now obviously it's the word squares on all of them. I can get rid of that. But I'm not going to. Let's just jump down here. A shortcut. Let's turn the lighting effect on. So when you look up there, it looks like, oh yeah, there's light coming out of there. There's not. The lights are out, but yeah. So when I walk up to near the area, the lights come on. It detects I'm in the zone, turns the lights on, and turns everything on. So that's all this stream was about, just me optimizing. So I've done my first optimization, which is the lights. So if I now do that, I can now get rid of this switch. Gone. Because inside, I only have that switch here because inside here there is a toggle in there to turn it on and off through the menus. and it's on by default. I wanted to better turn it off so that I can check it. So as you can see, if I depossess the puppet's no longer in the area, so you can check the lights do go out. The puppet has a little spot, a little light at the front of it, so it does illuminate the area it's in to a certain extent. So if you go into a dark spot, if I can find a dark spot, and none in there, none in there, none there, none really in there. Let's go down the floor. So it's got the illusion, lights are on, you don't see them in your face. Oh, here we go, this one's fairly dark. And here, step into that corner, it lights the corner up. It's not a huge amount, I can adjust the amount that does as well, but I think that's just enough so you're not going to get lost in blackness. And the reason I moved your puppet inside the room is because you could cheese this door without getting the key first. I still might revert it back, but I kind of wanted it so you have to get the key. To get in your room, you only need key 1, which you start off with. But to get out of it, you need key 2. So there's your room there. Key 1 to get in, which you start off with. And when you get inside, it's key 2 to get out. And key 3 is for this wing over here now, which I've now got. And these lights are like the other. Oh, in here's dark, so you can see the lighting. So all these lights in here will work the same as the other one. One of these cupboards, the cupboards don't move, the drawers don't move, just which one has the key over this side chooses one of the 4. There's at least one on each floor, so you just gotta either look through the windows to try and spot it, but one of them is in a corner which you can't quite see. You see there's 2 on this floor. Let's see if I get in this one here. Yep, there we go. Key 4. I can now exit the building. So the only thing now is I've got to deal with the guy that's guarding the lift. He's following me over. Look up the stairs. Yep, there he is. Coming out. That. Kill him. Now I can leave the building. So hopefully, I might throw this one up, and then making all the furniture and stuff like that, I can do separately. And then once I've got enough where it's a semi-done game, to the point of, well, he does have connectors. And it's done at a certain point where it's like, okay, that's doable. It's basically, it feels like a semi-finished thing. I'll release it as a thing and then just update that. I'm not going to make it as new versions. Wonder why they use ball joints instead of rotators. Doesn't matter. So yeah, I'm going to call it there, guys. Let me just turn that off so you can see it. That's how dark it is, without any lights on. So yeah, I'm going to call it. Stay safe, and I'll catch you all next time. I'm out here.